Welcome to Regulated-ish. Two moms, two cities, one frequency. This is our once a month space to talk about what life actually feels like in the middle of parenting, work, and nervous system overload. This isn't therapy and it's not a how-to show. It's just two real humans noticing what's showing up and trying to be a little kinder to ourselves while we do it. If something here helps you to feel less alone or a little more grounded, that's the point. Two moms regulating in real time so you don't have to do it alone.
Woohoo! Woo! Jesus Christ today. What's with today?
Quick pause for a clinical disclaimer. The outline for this episode has officially left the chat. We chased several metaphorical squirrels, took a few unintentional scenic routes, and generally abandoned the script. We regret nothing, and we hope you enjoy the detour.
How's your summer coming along?
It's
Can you believe
going.
it's July?
Yes and no at the same time. Like, we haven't done, like, a terrible a lot, like, this summer. Like, I expected it to be, like, a full jam-packed summer, but we haven't been running around a lot. So there's been a lot of, like, sleeping in until 10, which is nice. And then around 10, 12:30, I go, "I haven't seen either one of the kids yet." And I'll go, like, make sure they're awake. And they're just laying in their rooms, like, just chilling. I was like, "Okay, just as long as you're awake, you're not gonna be awake until 2 in the morning now." But, yes, I can both not believe and believe it's July already because my daughter started planning our back to school shopping trip. Yeah. She's like, here's the date we need to do it because if we wait till the next date that happens, we're gonna be too late. Because last year we paired up back to school shopping with her therapy appointment only because we were already like in that neck of the woods that day. And I was like, we don't have to do that this time because we aren't babysitting and then trying to kill 6 hours in between because we were in Bolingbrook last year. So I'm like, we're not going from Bolingbrook to Tinley back out to Naperville. Like, it just seemed ridiculous. So like we wasted time in Bolingbrook. I was like, oh, we'll do back to school shopping. But now she wants to pair it all up together as like an event. I'm like, that's too much. It's just too overstimulating. My brain will be cooked. It's not really sounds like a great idea for me.
No, and what's the rush?
Well, because she does therapy every 2 weeks. So she was like, if we don't do it this date, then by the next therapy appointment, it's like the day before school starts. So I was just like, we don't have to wait till a therapy date to do
I was
this.
about to say you can only shop when there's therapy?
That was her approach to it. But I think she's showing a little bit of the OCD tendencies. So like when she gets a plan in her head, it's gotta be that way. And we can't like change it because it'll be too many emotions to go with the change. And she's already got her brain settled into this plan. So
Emma
we'll
had
deal with.
moments like that during middle school in particular where she
Oh
was
yeah.
just very rigid with her thinking.
I wonder if that's just like a hormonal like age thing because that's right where we are.
I don't know. I just remember her being very rigid, and it was very difficult for her to see that we could be more flexible with things. It didn't have to always be out of urgency or because in your mind you said this would work great. And it's like, but there are other ways for it to work.
Well, that's good to know that it might not be a permanent state of being. It might just be a temporary sort of like, this is where we are now, right now.
Could also be a firstborn girl thing too.
You
Emma's
would
gotten
know more
better with
about
the
me.
flexibility, but
Yeah.
she still has her moments where she's like, this is the schedule and I need to know ahead of time.
I'm
She
going to
can
refer
be
to you on that one.
flexible
Mhm.
if I tell her ahead of time now.
Okay. Because one of the conversations Chris and I have had about things is giving more notice. Like, but I feel like it backfires on me. Like 2 weeks ago, we were getting ready to go somewhere. And I was like, all right, we're leaving here in 40 minutes. So start getting dressed, get your teeth brushed, get everything ready to go. And then I was like, all right, 20 minutes, guys. And I'm doing everything to get me ready. And then like, it's time to walk out the door and no one's done anything. I was like, I told you 40 minutes ago we were leaving, not for you to wait 38 minutes to get ready to go. It's just so you had time. We weren't rushed and I wasn't shouting. And like, when I say get up, start doing these things, it's like, you've got plenty of time. You can still get it done in 3 minutes, but then you're waiting. And that's cool
Right.
too. But it
Yeah.
was just a matter of like, oh, I didn't understand the plan. I was like, are you kidding me?
I
I
think you did
literally told
understand
you
the
the
plan.
plan. I think you weren't listening to me when I was
Yeah,
giving.
that's different.
Yeah, that's not, I didn't understand the plan. That was that
Yeah.
you chose not to listen, or you were like, oh, nurse to your plan. I'm going to do my plan. But
Yes.
I'm very much looking forward to the schedule of being back in school. Like, I'll miss having them around, but I will not miss, like, the lackadaisical approach to everything.
It's just easier when you know they have a schedule and it's not because of you.
Yes,
You're not like the bad guy, you're just going along too with it, so it's a little less pressure, I feel.
I agree. Yeah, because the thing about schedules is I am much better when there's somebody else's schedule. Like, I don't know if it's my imposter syndrome or what it is, but, like, I cannot set a schedule for my own self and adhere to it
Mm,
because it's something that I determine, so I can always change it. But, like, if it's somebody else's time frame, I can adhere to that.
right,
So
because you can't change it.
right, it's not up to me. But when it's up to me, it's just like, whatever." So, having them back in school will be much better, but also it's funny about schedules and calendars and times and stuff is when I'm doing my caregiving schedule for my
Mhm,
cousin, it's like, "Hey, it's dinner time," and she has Down syndrome, so the mental, emotional, level where she's at is about 5 or 6, so you're
mhm.
dealing permanently with a kindergartner. Be like,
Oh,
"Hey,
gotcha.
time for dinner," and she'll look at me and look at the window, and she's like, "It's still light out." I was like, "Right, because it's summertime and it stays lighter longer. It's not time for dinner, it's light out." I was like, but it is." And then we get into a little, like, back and forth. I was like, "Look, I don't control the sun's schedule. However, I do know that the clock says it's dinner time." And we go back and forth, and I'm hoping at one point in time she will believe me when I say these things, but she's like, "It's light outside still, it's not time for dinner." I was like, "That works in the wintertime, that doesn't work in the summertime."
Yeah, no. No, it doesn't. No, I remember those days, especially with the time change. God, I hated the time change. Trying to convince a little one that it's bedtime when it's light out.
Yup. My aunt did buy blackout curtains for her bedroom because
Ooh,
with it
smart.
staying light longer and getting lighter earlier at the same time, it's like she was awake and ready for the day at, like, 5:30 in the morning. We're like, that's a no-go." So my aunt got blackout curtains, and it's helping, like, she's at least staying asleep until after 6 a.m., but
Thank God.
no, it's not time to be up and ready and go ready for raring up and ready to go for the day. It's like, "No, thank you."
It's funny though how you get like overstimulated when you don't have a schedule as much, and you would think it would be the opposite.
It's sort of like I have a really special talent of getting overstimulated all the time over everything. So it doesn't matter schedule, no schedule. It's just
Congratulations.
thanks. It's like one little wrinkle will just do the whole day in. It's like I really wanted to make sure that, by the time I'm cooking dinner that the sink is empty and it doesn't go out like that. And it's just like, oh, well, let's do this. We're all just starving for dinner. I'm not cooking anymore. So like schedule, no schedule. It's just like one little wrinkle will just do me in. So
I
I'm sure.
wonder where your daughter gets it.
You know what? I've often wondered that myself. It's like, I don't
Yeah.
know where she gets it from. I don't
No,
know which gene
no,
pool she pulled that trait from.
no. School.
Yeah, totally. Or
Mhm.
the when she was switched at birth at the hospital, that, this is somebody else's gene pool. This is not mine.
See that?
JK, she looks just like me.
Yes, she does.
I used to be far more chill, and then I think I'm blaming perimenopause for, like, the hormone shifts. It's, like, sending me back into puberty all over again.
It sucks. I swear, women need to start taking over everything so that we can actually like have sick days for perimenopause. So when we have kids, we actually have time off. So we're actually taking care of our bodies and brains.
That would be really great, but unfortunately, there's just not enough data supporting that we can justify women need to be in charge of everything because all the data is based on men.
It's just such a shame because men are would be happier too if they didn't have to like do it all themselves, right? If they actually shared and we all shared and there were some women in charge of shit.
Yeah, you'd think so, but I'm sure they would just find a way to complain about not being needed enough. Because 'cause isn't that what, like, the male loneliness epidemic that's happening right now is all about, is, like, there's not enough women
I
don't
thought
need.
the loneliness thing is that, and I could be wrong. I don't know because it's a younger generation than what I'm used to, and also not the generation I generally find with therapy clients coming my way, especially when it comes to trauma. I'm more
Mhm,
talking about the trauma than the actual day to day social. But I thought it was because there was this group of men, not all men, of course, but a group of guys who, when they were told the whole idea about consent, like it was a big deal that you should get
mhm,
a yes and not be skeezy,
right.
that means all of a sudden they don't know how to communicate or talk to women,
Uh,
and they shouldn't talk to women. And it's all the women's fault because women say that they want a nice guy, but they really don't. And just this whole back and forth about men not understanding that there is a nice in between where you do have consent, but you also can go up to a stranger and say hi. And if the person's like, "No thanks," then you say, "No thanks," and you move on, and, it's not shutting you down as a species, it's just the girl's not interested, and it's okay.
Yeah, I always, like, took that as part of it, but then it branched off into, just because that one woman didn't want me, that means all women don't want me, so that I'm lonely in my personal life, but these women, because they aren't, like, preoccupied with keeping a man in a relationship, that it gives them more time to gain power over men in the professional realm, that they're moving up in the world because they don't have to worry about keeping a home life happy. That it's just sort of like it ballooned from like just the one start to like a lot of it's blaming women for so much more than just the
Oh, because we
romantic
got
interaction.
careers and
Right, because the
have to worry about ourselves. All of a sudden, straight women don't want to be in happy relationships?
well, they aren't straight. That just it wasn't just like the sexual orientation of them. It was just that women are choosing to be single so that they don't have relationships to like keep a man happy there. So they've got all this extra energy to
So
apply.
instead of saying, "Hey, if I, as an adult male, were able to be independent, self sufficient, make my own food, plan my own doctor appointments, get my own laundry done, pay my bills, I could find somebody who would want to be in an adult relationship."
Who would want a
Instead,
partner?
it's or a partner. But
Mm-mm.
no, it's just women suck because they don't want to take care of
Pretty much. That
me.
was always
Interesting.
like the spin that I was understanding of it. But it could be a lot more of like a water drop, like that it causes those ripples to like be so much bigger.
Mm.
But that was always my understanding of the male loneliness epidemic of where it is where it's at right now. It's not just because they don't want me in a romantic setting. It's like they don't need anybody anymore. So they can just address all their energy to taking over the world.
Women really took all their energy to address taking over the world, there would not be this question mark. It would have happened.
You know what? I absolutely agree.
So I don't think that's what women's doing. I just think a lot of women are trying to learn to have some boundaries and also recognize that there's more to life than just getting married and having kids. I
Yeah,
don't think it's a
and
bad thing.
yeah, they're making these decisions, and it's really helping to not be overstimulated all day, every day, so that they
Yes.
can approach things from a more balanced standpoint. Because
It's
they're
a good opportunity for guys too to figure out what they want. They don't have to do this traditional 1930s, 40s, 50s role that I'm
yeah.
sure a lot of them do not enjoy.
Yeah, and just like I'm sure women have the standpoint that, we're expected to get married and have kids, that, men's whole job is to get married or, get married and provide. But not
Mhm.
everybody wants that kind of pressure or stress. I'm sure there's plenty of dads that would love to be the stay at home parent and things like that, but, feel like
Exactly.
they can't express that desire because it doesn't fit traditionally.
I just don't understand why it has to be an all or nothing thing. Like, there is such
Yeah,
room for compromise. And as a mom of a son, it's like, I don't want my son to be an asshole. I don't want my son to look for a partner because he wants someone to take care of him.
right.
And I also want him to be happy. So I want him to know how to take care of himself and how to express emotions and resolve conflicts. I want him to be happy. I don't want him in my basement until he's 50.
I mean, agreed. Like, absolutely 100%. Like, we approach home tasks as we're a team. We all have to pitch in. This is not just my job as, the mom to do all these things. So it's like I'm trying within my limitations to teach everybody the right way of doing these things so that we all, have the same base of knowledge and effort so that, leaving the house, the kids will be able to do laundry and clean dishes and, the sort of stuff. Like, I'm failing miserably at keeping a perfectly clean home, but, they will know how to scrub a toilet and clean a shower.
It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just that they have the skills and the ability to do it and look around and not have to be told, right? Like,
Yeah,
even if they don't get a partner or a spouse right away, they're going to have a roommate in this day and age. How could you afford not to?
right.
I don't want my son or my daughter to be the roommate from hell that nobody wants to live with.
Right, yeah, that they're not capable of cleaning up after themselves or, deciding, "Hey, this needs to be done, so I'm gonna go ahead and step up and do it." So, yeah, that's something that is still being taught in this house even after 20 years of co-residency, that you should be able to see when something needs to get done and not just wait for me to do it.
It doesn't, and my daughter used to be so good at this, and now that she has a part-time job, it's like she's regressed.
Mm,
And I'm like, "Okay, just because you have a part-time job doesn't mean household chores don't exist."
right, yeah, the house doesn't stop
Mm.
getting dirty just because you're in it less, yeah.
Yeah, so we've had a couple of those moments. So it doesn't necessarily end. It's always a readjustment when you add on more stress trying to figure out how to navigate it all.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just get overwhelmed. And if I walk in my house and everything is a disaster, I'd get overwhelmed, overstimulated, and I literally want to just walk back out.
Yeah, I have 2 settings when I'm overstimulated like that. Like, I will come home from my part-time job where I'm doing all of the things, taking out the garbage, wiping down counters, making sure the sink is empty, and I will come into my kitchen where the garbage is overflowing and the sink is overflowing and there's crap all over the counters. And I have 1 or 2 modes of reaction. I either get loud and upset and do it all, or I just go, "Nope, this isn't happening," and then it's just like there's no in between. It's very all or nothing, like we were talking about before. Where it's just
Mhm.
like, it's 10:30 at night, I'm not about to drag somebody out of bed to come do this, however, it does need to get done, so do I have a temper tantrum while I'm doing it now, or do I just check out and handle it later when I'm less overstimulated? But then it's just a
I think it's figuring out what's right for you in the moment and right for the family situation. It's one of those things that you don't know what's right except the individual in the situation.
yeah, and then I'm learning to eat crow a little bit, like, I have an overreaction, and then I'm like, "Oh, that wasn't the right way to handle that," so now I gotta, like, backtrack and apologize and be like, "How I handled it was not the best way of doing it, so I'm gonna apologize. However, going forward, this is how we're handling the thing before the outburst happens."
It is hard though, because it's like and this is where we have to be gentler with ourselves because it is difficult to find that balance between, yes, I made a mistake. And it's not that I don't want to admit I made a mistake. That's not the issue. The issue is when admit I make a mistake, the tendency is then to dismiss the entire thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
And so it's like, "No, you still did wrong. You didn't do the dishes for the 5th time." So
Right.
that doesn't change that scenario. My reaction, yes, I need to take amends and apologize, wasn't the best way, but I hesitate not because I can't say I'm sorry. I hesitate because I'm trying to frickin' figure out how to still make you recognize that the original thing still isn't okay.
Right, and it's like a fine line because you don't want to then preach that, "Do it so I don't yell at you."
Right.
But it's like, if this were done the way it was, expected to be done and told to be done, then I wouldn't have had that reaction. I wouldn't have had that opportunity to have that overreaction. So it's just like, it's a balance. Like, if you do the things that you're supposed to do, I won't be able to be overwhelmed and, like, get that upset. It's like
Yeah,
I
if
won't
you
have
want me in
that.
a better mood, maybe make it a little easier for me to live in this space too.
Yeah, but even so, like, saying that, it still feels like if you would have just done how you were told, then I wouldn't have had the opportunity to be triggered. It's almost like still teaching them that
Kinda like
you
that
are
movie, The
here to
Breakup with, Jennifer Aniston, where
oh,
she's
and
mad at
fun, yeah.
Vince Vaughn, and she's like, "I want you to want to do the dishes. I want you to
Yeah,
want to help."
yeah, and he was just like, "That's just not gonna happen." So then it's just like, "Okay, we're parting ways here," but it's so much harder to do that as a family of, the children are expected to do, what's laid out for them.
Mhm.
And it's almost impossible to teach them that not doing it leads to getting yelled at. And, like, that's kind of how I was all brought up. It's like, do what you're told, everything will just be, everything will you won't get yelled at. Like, if you do what you're supposed to, I'm not gonna yell at you. But I don't want them to be walking around on eggshells their whole life just anticipating my next yelling session. So it's been, like, a very intentional shift of how things were done when I was being raised to how
Mhm.
I'm raising my kids. But, like,
Mhm.
sometimes those old tried and true methods of, like, do it or get yelled at is almost what you go back to, and it's just like, "I don't want that, though."
No, it's difficult because you do want them to learn that there's consequences, positive and negative to everything, right?
Uh-huh.
Because there will be in the real world. So you
Right.
can't like sugarcoat everything and stop everything you're doing to have these long conversations about big feelings. Sometimes you do have to just get the shit done and we can talk about it later
Mhm.
because in real life you sometimes do have to do that, right? So
Right.
it's that balance again. It is such a tightrope walk for moms because you
Yeah.
want your kid to know, hey, sometimes you have to do shit because you're told because the boss will fire your ass.
Mhm.
You know, like, you will
Yeah.
get fired, they don't care how you feel.
Yeah, and that's the whole that's, like, the big thing. It's just, like, I absolutely 100% care how you feel and how I make you feel and that sort of stuff, but I referred to it as a healthy fear one time to my therapist, and she goes, "Megan, there's no such thing as a healthy fear." I was like, "Are you sure? Because, I mean, I have it." And she goes, "It's not healthy, it's just fear." I'm like, "Well, damn it, now I gotta rethink some things because that's just kinda like."
Is it fear or is it wanting them to understand there's consequences?
It's definitely that, but, like, my only
Your frame of
concept of
reference is fear
explaining.
because the way you were brought up, but that doesn't mean that's
Right.
what you're trying to say.
Yeah, it's not like I'm absolutely terrified of my parents, however, I did know that if I fucked up, that I would need to be
Oh,
afraid of
yeah,
them
you'd
for a
be
little
nervous
while.
about yeah, mhm.
Right, so, like, that was my frame of like, that was what I was trying to get through. It's just like, my kids have no healthy fear of me because they're like. And then I wanna quote Cypress Hill of like, "Don't you know I'm local?" And then they're like, they don't care. They don't care that I'm crazy, and it's just like, "Guys, don't make me be the crazy person, that's where I'm at." But however, being overstimulated by everything and anything and all or nothing just makes me just have to hide my loco all the time, and it's just exhausting. It's exhausting.
It is. It has to be one of the hardest things I've ever done, but
Mhm.
especially since I am a therapist, so I'm always, like, clocking things and, like,
Yeah,
more aware than I think I would've been,
absolutely.
which sucks because then I'm like, "Well, I'll tell your future therapist this or that," or
Yeah, I'll just start taking notes now. Like I had in talking with my therapist, she, she was a we live in the same school district, so I would see her at school functions from time to time, and she would be like, and I made a joke about her and Chris volunteering at the same classroom event, like they were room parents for the same thing. I says, "Oh, you'll get to see, my complaint live in action." She goes, "No, when I'm at school, I'm just a regular mom. I'm not doing therapy work." I was like, "Oh, that's so great to be able to switch it off," but then I thought, "Are you compartmentalizing? That's not very healthy." And then I was like, "I need to stop being able to see the big picture all at the same time because maybe a little compartmentalizing for me would be better," but it's just like seeing the whole thing and being able to pick apart the good and the bad is also mentally exhausting.
it is. It's really difficult to be able to say, "No, I can turn this off," versus, "No, I'm avoiding," or and I can't say the word the C one, compartmentalizing, there we
Yeah,
go.
compartmentalizing, there you go.
Woo!
I had to
Dile
overthink it and then I messed it up.
dyslexia day, I tell you, I'm tired. No,
I
it's
also
tricky. It's tricky to
Yeah.
turn off that part of your brain sometimes.
Yeah, and you don't wanna, like, spend your whole life diagnosing everybody or, trying to fix problems that they don't see as problems, so you just gotta, like, "Okay, that's just the way you're gonna run it." Just sort
Yeah,
of, like,
it's hard to
brush off.
the line. Disclaimer here. A squirrel caught our attention. Just consider this unstructured chaos a free exercise in cognitive flexibility for your nervous system. Now back to the show.
Isolated.
I'm just gonna be pixelated?
You're like a little
Let me
dream
try
sequence, sort of like,
ooh, like that 70s, 80s thing?
yeah. Wayne's World.
Oh, I miss some of that shit.
Right? Some of that dumb nonsense is just so funny to me. And my daughter's getting into all of these movies, and she asks me the other day, she's like, "Can I watch Heathers?" I was like, "With Winona Ryder from the '80s, you wanna watch Heathers?" And she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "I gotta think about that because I don't remember the last time that I saw it." And then
Yeah.
thinking back, I don't think I ever saw it. Like, my
I don't think
understanding.
I either. I know what happened
Yeah, it was
because
like
to
the
me have
'80s version
talked
of
about
Mean
it,
Girls.
but
Yeah. I don't know. So then I gotta sit down and watch it because I asked both my
And there's
sisters,
a
and they're like,
musical now too, right?
"Of Mean Girls?" Yeah.
No,
Oh, is there? Is that where she heard of it to decide she wanted to watch
I
it?
don't know, but I know I think it's a musical in New York or something.
Yeah, Heather's the musical with music, lyrics, and a book by Lawrence O'Keefe and Kevin Murphy is a dark comedy rock musical based on the 1989 cult classic film. Did
Maybe
they
that's why.
murder somebody though?
They do, but I don't remember who gets murdered. I just know there is murdering in it.
Yeah, like because it feels like that movie, like that plot comes around very frequently. So, like that just said, Heather's came out in '89. Like in the late '90s, there was Jawbreaker, where it was like a
Mhm.
group of
Yes, it's
couples
always these
friends, and
teenage girls in high school who look like they're 20, they're dressed like they're strippers in high school, and then they start killing people.
yeah. So I remember
Such good
Jawbreakers,
role models.
right? But no, but at least nobody died in Mean Girls. I mean, Regina George was hit by a bus, but she
True.
didn't. She had that halo neck brace at the turnabout dance and
Mhm.
was on the homecoming court or whatever it was. Oh no, she was
Prom
elect.
free?
No, it was more like it was at the end of the year, but it wasn't prom. It was like Sadie Hawkins or Turnabout or that
Yes.
happened
Yes.
over.
I think it is Sadie Hawkins. I think you're right there.
Yeah, something like that. We didn't call it Sadie Hawkins in the Midwest, but
No, we did not.
I always call it that on movies and TV shows. So I have to decide whether or not that's going to be a thing. And then she was asking, "Do I have to ask to watch PG-13 stuff now?" I was like, "Oh, for a little while. Like I'm
Mhm.
not ready to like give up that kind of control, but just so
Yeah.
much that's so questionable that I don't want to have to explain things to you just yet, even though like you have Google and you can figure it out or watch a YouTube.
Times.
No, it sounds like scary times. Like I don't want to deal with it times, but I'm going to have to eventually. Because if I
I
don't,
got to have the Band-Aid ripped off. My daughter was in this after-school program, and there was this kiddo who was making very inappropriate conversations,
mm,
and so we had to have the conversation early because of that.
oh, I just, I just know that like
So I
the
didn't even get to, like, be nervous about it, I had to just jump in.
I just think back to my resource of this knowledge was that fast girl that rode the bus with us that, she was doing all the things. So if you had a
Um,
question, you would go and you would ask her and she would explain it to
mhm.
you. But then the other fast girl on the bus was taking a collection of, everybody's pocket change so she can go get a pregnancy test at Jewel. So
There
it's
you
like
go.
hopefully those are things that we don't have to deal with, but
You
I'm
probably do. They're just
mhm.
all different.
Yeah, we didn't have the Dollar Tree to go get the dollar pregnancy store test done. We had to, like, take a collection to get $10 to go buy the
Mhm.
brand name Jewel at the time.
Yeah. I don't know about your kiddos, but out here, it's middle school is all about, like, babes.
I don't know because it's funny because my daughter and now my son, we just got the email from the school that they will be in the accelerated program. So it's a
Mhm.
core group of the same students that they see all day. So it's not like they're rotating
Good.
class with like I jokingly refer to them as the general population of students. Like I'm crazy Gen Pop kids. Like they won't have like daily contact as much with the whole lot of their grade. So it's
Mhm.
like the same group of core students. So I don't know how that's gonna go. Like, the only classes that they have with Gen Pop are, like, gym and, like, the extracurriculars,
It
like
only
the
takes one
No,
class.
I know. So but so far, knock on wood, it's been pretty good.
My god, my son
Nervous systems were fully offline during this conversation. Topics may have wandered, squirrels may have been chased. We regret nothing.
Bye, listeners. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for spending this little pocket of time with us. If anything we talked about stirred something up, just remember you don't have to rush to fix it. Noticing it is enough work already. And if you ever want a few more gentle ways to settle your nervous system, that's what the Mind Circuit app is here for. Check it out in Apple Store and Google Play, and we'll meet you back here next month. And as always, please be kind to your wiring.